we're back once again. It is now March the 1st. We're already, 1/3 into the, 1/4 way into the 2021. So welcome back. Today, I came with my topic, 10 minutes before I hit the live button. If you saw my social media last night, I was kind of busy running around with a lady. I had to make an emergency trip, but we're back. And I thought the most useful thing I could do today is help people who are just getting into doing commission work and to give you some tips and tricks to help what you do be more successful. I actually need to take this off so I can actually go to screen crap later. This is fine. Alright. So number one, you want to start taking commissions. You want to start doing what you love to do. You want to do design work. You want to do character work. You want to do all those kind of things and make a little bit extra money. I'm going to say this up front. First thing you want to do is present your portfolio and your pricing information, your commission info on your own website. It's a little bit of investment. Well, you say I got my Wix site, I got my link tree, etc. Nothing's going to up the professional look to your business, and you will be a business if you're taking money for work. As a personalized website, www.xyz.com, etc. So that's super important. Turn that off. Number two, if you are going to be taking over a certain amount of money, I'm not a lawyer, so you may want to consult a lawyer or your tax advice or your accountant, etc. You may want to form a business entity, like an LLC, to protect yourself and your assets against any possible liability. So definitely consult someone with a little bit more knowledge about it than I do. I have an LLC, but I'm not going to speak on it because I'm not a lawyer. So it doesn't take a lot of money. It takes very little time. File up with your state government, so you can actually file taxes at the end of the year. Next, taking payment. Now, I use PayPal, and they take up 3% transaction fee, stuff like that. It is important that when you're using PayPal or using any other kind of platform to receive funds on, always write an invoice for what you're doing. Do not do friends and family ever, because they can revoke the charges as soon as you send it out, and you're out of luck. When I write an invoice, I always do 50% over a certain amount of money. So if you're doing character work and say your piece is going to be $500, take $250 as a deposit. And you say, why do you take a deposit? Well, that lets you know and the client know that they're serious about the work they're engaging in. You should never engage in work that you're not getting paid for up front. That is to protect yourself as a business and pretty much to protect your client. Because if you're taking money for something as a deposit, you can actually not worry about sketching this thing up, and the client saying, well, I changed my mind, and this work looks good, but I don't want this anymore. Well, now you've wasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of your life planning and plotting out this piece that you'll never get back, and you got no money for. So, sketch work is work, and deposits are golden. This way, this protects your client with an invoice to when they actually go to, if they're getting this work done for the stream, they're going to use this piece for, they use this piece in the YouTube video, piece of YouTube content as merchandise. What they paid for that piece is now a tax deduction because they are using it as an investment in their business. So invoicing is a two-way street. It helps keep your taxes and it keeps everything you've done, on paper and upfront. And when the person goes to file their taxes, they can use that as a write-off in their business. Also consult your taxes, your tax accountants, consultants, etc. Because I'm not a lawyer. But if you run a stream, a YouTube channel, and you're getting work done from a designer, request an invoice. Super important. Also, take a deposit. Take a deposit. And if you, as a designer, cannot go through with the work, just say you can't and return the deposit. If you've done nothing, return the deposit. Now, you may want to shield yourself if you have a higher, waiting list or higher, back end work, and if your scheduling is evolved or is based around deposits, and you tell a client, well, it's going to be 4 months. I got deposited up this far, and then 4 clients cancel, and then this client that you told was going to be 4 months out, it's going to be 2 months out now, but he's already found somebody else. You're losing out on work. So in that case, when I take a deposit and the client wants to, cancel the order after taking the deposit, I typically give them a 30-day window to get a full refund. And after the 30 days, I give you half the money back, and the half I keep is credit towards your next order. So I don't just keep the money, but when you come back, you got X amount of dollars waiting for you, in perpetuity. Because I'd rather do the work than take your money. I'd rather have a beefier portfolio with more satisfied clients than more angry clients walking away. But I also keep the money because I'm protecting myself as a business, and now I've potentially lost out on work because I've quoted somebody that I'm going to be 4 or 5 months out, 6 months out, and I got cancellations coming through. Well, it's going to be 2 months now, 3 months, and that person's already found a new designer to work with. I hope that helps a lot of people out there. Next up, when you're responding to potential clients about commission work, always remain professional. Even what they do may appear to be rude, and it very well could be rude. You are not operating as yourself. This is not the time to wish a motherfucker would in my DMs. If they're reaching out to you about a personal matter or some matter like that, that's different. If they are reaching out about work, always respond cordially, as professionally as possible, no matter what the response is. Because you're not representing just you. You're representing your livelihood. You're representing the integrity of your company. And if you respond poorly to a potential clients, it's bad news spreads. If you respond, well, I don't want to deal with you anyway, that's not going to help you at all. It might feel good temporarily, but that person can know somebody else and they spread, well, you don't work with that designer, he's a real asshole, or she's a real asshole. So that's food for thought. Next up, there's a lot of back and forth about rights to work and stuff like that. I have a different approach to the rights for the work. When I finish a project, I relinquish the rights to that project to that client. I charge high enough that once I'm done with this project, I'm done. I'm not trying to, rake you over the coals for a design that I've done, 3 years ago, and you've made $10,000 off of. That is not my concern. It is. It's not. But if you are that kind of designer, you may look into your legal options. Look at some legal contracts to protect your work if you'd like to, and always disclose that to the client up front. We'll say this design is for you, but it's only if you can only use it for these things. Be sure to say that up front. Don't attack your client 4 months later for putting, you know, a sticker design on a hoodie or something like that. So be as transparent as possible, as often as possible. And last but not least, when someone reaches out to you for work and you tell them your pricing, do not renegotiate your pricing. I'm going to say this again. When somebody reaches out to you for work and you tell them your pricing and they say, can you do it for this? Your answer is automatically no. Do you know why it's no? Because they'll begin to grab the upper hand in every situation, and they'll drag out the project forever, and they want to change everything because they think they have control over you as an individual. So never negotiate your pricing when you say it up front. And then 4 months later, raise your prices again. It's good for you. It's good for you. If someone reaches out and they say, "Well, I want this done," and you say 400, oh, can you do it for 350? Now there is one way to negotiate this. Tell them I will do this design for 200, but I keep the design and I can sell it on whatever I want. Or I'll knock off $50 and I'll print it on whatever I'll print it on whatever I want and sell it to whoever I want to, or resell it. See if their reaction changes. Because if you're that heavily invested in the design and you make it and it's fire, and they're selling it, you're selling it, they're losing out on money. Well, the money you should have got paid initially. So that's one way to renegotiate if they don't have the funds. I've definitely dealt with clients who didn't have the money for a design, and they're like, oh, it'll be $350, $400, $500. Well, can you do it for 200? I tell you what, I'll do it for 300, but I get to keep the design and I get to put on whatever I want and sell it to whoever I want to, or resell the design to another client. And that's worked out. I was upfront with the client that this design might get resold to someone else. So that's one way to deal with it. Now, I'm shooting from the hip, and this is all from the top of my head. But if you guys have any more questions about what you could potentially be doing, or what might help you in your commission and design work as a business, comment below. If you guys don't know, if you guys have just gotten here, I'm a full-time graphic designer, illustrator, for going on 4 years now, running a very successful business, and it is always my goal to help people, gain a foothold on their dreams. So, that being said, happy March. Shout out to King's Coast Coffee. If you want 10% off some of the best coffee I've ever had, I'm pretty sure it's the best coffee I've ever had. I drink it like every day. I'm like 90% King's Coast Coffee. Get 10% off at kingscoast.com. Use the code word CONQUER, KHANQUER. Well, you guys didn't see about the t-shirts. The t-shirts are up for sale. The gray ones are mostly sold out, and I think they'll be gone probably within a month or so, maybe less than a month. I only have a few sizes left, so if you guys want to jump on that, that's the way to do it. I'll see you guys tonight. I'm streamed 7 days a week over on Twitch at twitch.tv/YoungKhan. I'm pretty sure there's a marquee scrolling. I am working on intros and stuff because I think the YouTube content is something you guys like, and I do enjoy making it. So perhaps I'll be hiring an editor in the next couple months to help take these videos and chop them up and make them more presentable. So thanks so much for all the support. See you guys next Monday, and hope you guys have a great and prosperous March.